Your phone ringing. Your phone ringing. Big boy, come pick up your phone. Why you no pick up your phone? Your phone ringing. Your phone going to go to voicemail. Goodbye. Your phone ringing. Your phone ringing. Big boy, come pick up your phone. Why you no pick up your phone? Your phone ringing. Your phone going to go to voicemail.
Forecourts, vegetables rotting in the ground, shipping containers being turned away from the ports. What's going on in Brexit Britain? Well, earlier I caught up with Nigel Farage. So, Nigel, we wanted to catch up with you to see how you think Brexit is going, because I know you'll know that here in this country we've been seeing pictures of people
It's like Christmas coming early. Santa's here early. I'm ecstatic.
Forecourts, vegetables rotting in the ground, shipping containers being turned away from the ports. What's going on in Brexit Britain? Well, earlier I caught up with Nigel Farage. So Nigel, we wanted to catch up with you to see how you think Brexit is going, because I know you'll know that here in this country we've been seeing pictures of people fighting over fuel at petrol stations, and that's just the start of it. Is this the Brexit that you campaigned for?
Well, there's a shortage right across the entire Western world, isn't there, of staff. We've got inflation. We've got more money being created during the pandemic, chasing the same number of goods. And that is why there are shortages in Los Angeles, there are shortages. In fact, Poland is shorter of lorry drivers than we are in the United Kingdom. Yeah. So, I mean, this is nothing to do with Brexit whatsoever. Germany's got problems. France has got problems. We're going into a period of inflation where more money is chasing the same number of goods, and that leads to spiralling prices, spiralling wages, spiralling cost of living, and shortages.
Okay,
it's the 1970s being played out all over again.
And you mentioned that those problems are widespread, and we know that some countries are having issues, but we also know that your own Road Hauliers Association has said you're down 60,000 drivers because of Brexit, because they're EU drivers who are now not welcome in your country. We also know that there are over 100,000 pigs that have had to be killed. We know that there are 16 billion euro worth of produce, vegetables and so on that have had to be dumped because they can't get the workers to come in now. They're all Brexit-related issues, surely.
So I checked the figures. June to June, which are the last figures available, so June 20 to June 21, despite the pandemic and despite, as globalist media would say, Brexit, 172...
Hello and welcome to this evening's Election Night broadcast, brought from RTE. Now, before I even begin to discuss the mayhem that is Irish elections, welcome to our new studio. We have Election Live because that is actually our new branding, yes, believe it or not. take a peek, a gander around. So we are going to go through the panel very quickly, but I just want to thank each of you for tuning in this evening. This is going to be a particularly divisive election, because when we face adversity, we vote more partisan, we vote tougher within party lines. So I want to go through the panel first, and of course who we're going to be joined by this evening. So heading over to the pundits this evening, we are joined by blah 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 I don't care, who is an ordinary voter, and of course Hugh Ahern, a senior civil servant. Blah blah blah. That's 3 actually, even though it's only 2. How are you?
I'm very fine, thanks for asking.
Brilliant. So you're an ordinary voter. Is there anything in particular you've noticed this election that you're going to be keeping track of as the results trickle in?
Not in particular, but mainly I think that these elections will be very crucial for the general activity and the stability of Ireland, because during the last few weeks, you have seen inactivity and instability mainly skyrocket into the negative numbers. So mainly we'll have to see what party wins the election and who will and finally bring activity.
That's a very fair point. Moving over to Hugh Ahern. Hugh, it's a pleasure to have you in the studio. How are you?
Thank you, Killian. And might I just add that I bring a wide range of experience. I've been watching these elections quite closely, considering I am serving as the Assistant Secretary to the Secretary General to the government, so I would have a bit more background knowledge than the average voter, such as blah blah blah. I've served as Deputy Leader of Labour, the Minister of State at the Department of Taoiseach for the Civil Service under Benjamin Cosgrave. This election this entire term has been incredibly interesting. It's been an unusual one. I think we've had 3 different Taoiseachs and Tón. Like there's been a huge turnover. We've seen the resignation of James Anderson, leader of Fine Gael, from the office of Taoiseach due to the Northern Ireland crisis. That was incredibly interesting. We've seen an inactive Taoiseach, where nothing was mainly achieved, which led to an entirety activity across government. We've also seen a very poor voter engagement this election. So we've seen only 2 parties publish a manifesto. That's unseen within the Irish political landscape. And let's not forget that we're predicting a very low turnout. I've been speaking with officials from the Electoral Commission tonight and other officials within government, and it appears that turnout has been incredibly low.
That's very true. That's very true.
And
actually,
that's incredibly concerning, because Ireland, we have a very high standing within the international community, and I think it's critical that our government next term, including myself and William as the senior civil servants, ensure that we have a active, engaged government. I think that's critical. But
that's very true, Hugh. That's actually that's very poignant at the moment. Yeah.
I'm not going to ramble on for too much longer, but I will add to close that I was disappointed to see the rise of not as known political leaders. The leader of Labour isn't as
is
known
inexperienced
as
the words you'd use.
Inexperienced would be right. If I really particularly did want to, I probably could end up as leader of Labour, and now considering the pool is so small, I probably could. I also think the bid for the Oris will be incredibly interesting. There's no one really popping out of my head, that's soon enough.
Would you? I have to ask you, would you consider something like that, a bid for the Oris?
Well, no, I possibly couldn't comment. I'm very satisfied in my current role as Assistant Secretary General to the government. It would be a privilege to be asked to go to the Oris.
But look, that's always an option for you. I would absolutely keep that tab open.
I definitely would. But look, we'll move it over to our political
Yeah,
people
our
know, but
spokespeople. That's very
yeah,
true
our
here.
spokespersons.
We'll keep
And
that option open, is what I'd say.
I think it will be incredibly interesting to hear from our political spokespersons tonight,
It will be.
especially James. I have a bit of political bias, yeah, but we can get into that later.
Yeah,
But I look forward to hearing
yeah,
tonight's results,
yeah.
and
Thank you.
thank you,
Thank you here. Thank you so much. It's
thank
lovely
you,
to have you on.
thank
So
you.
we're going to move on. By the way, I will briefly say that my co-host has arrived. Noah, how are you?
Hi. Yeah, I'm sorry. I had a little bit of an oversleeping moment. So yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Actually, you're about to move on to our political correspondents here. I say correspondents given that they're technically party spokespeople. We are joined by Corbin Clark from Labour, who has no idea how she got here. No idea where she's going to go after this. In fact, she might lose her job because she's scared to say a single word. How are you, Corbin?
I am grand. How are you?
You know, I was better until you started talking. So look,
Right, okay,
you're
well,
here.
that's very
You're here.
nasty.
You're here as representative of the Labour Party. Are you feeling confident?
Uh, I'll be honest with you. Given our honesty on the most crucial issues, I believe the Irish people will continue to have faith in us. But I won't give you any specific estimates, because we are currently confident. So
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Well, look, Corbin, it's a pleasure to have you on the show, and hopefully this is your last appearance. We'll move on to leader of Fine Gael, James Aitchison. James, how are you still here?
I know, Killian. I know you can't get rid of me.
No, we can't actually. But look, it is always.
He's an eternal presence. He's an eternal presence. We can't
He
get
is
rid of him.
actually. He is. In fact, even when he leaves, he's still present in our minds and in our hearts. But look, those are the spokespeople tonight. We're not going to hear from them much now, because I've been very rude to them. But also, we will probably return to them once some results start trickling in. And speaking of results, we actually have a new man on the map actually, and that is unfortunately Jerry O'Mara. Jeremy, how are you up there?
Oh, it's so great to finally be above you all. In my rightful place, one might say.
Yeah.
It's an absolute pleasure to be stood here where, well, not exactly where Tony Blair stood. After he left, we actually got more funding because we had to cut his salaries. And so we built this wonderful new studio where we could invest in 2 maps this time. Oh yes, folks. So we have less selection maps where we're going to be comparing some results here tonight. And anywho, it's a great pleasure to be here. Tony, you did a great job, but obviously I'm going to do well better. You're paying me less for a better job, as is RTE's story at the moment. Anyway,
oh God, thanks, Jeremy. Look, we will be looking for salaries for our workers. Well, look, hopefully soon the electorals trickling results, but I am getting word that the exit poll might be in soon, question mark, if my producers want to enlighten me on that one. But look, what we're gonna do is we're gonna move on anyway. But look, I want to actually move back to James Aitchison really quickly for a comment on recent issues. But actually, before I do that, I completely overstepped you, Noah, my co-host.
Wow.
Tell the people at home what our lovely new hashtag is for this election.
Yeah, just so rude, Killian. You should be ashamed of yourself. Anyway, well, for today, as always, there'll be a Twitter hashtag, or should I say X hashtag. And if you want to get involved and read, and for me to read out your thoughts, just do hashtag IslandDecideRX. Like last election, I'll check in on Twitter from time to time.
Noah, I love you, but you had one job and you just got it wrong. The real Twitter hashtag.
I'm demented, okay?
The real Twitter hashtag is election live or X, which is a capital E and capital L. It should be popping up on your screen at the moment. Election live or X. If you want to see, RTE has often this tradition of not being very interactive with the people at home watching. But hopefully we will be able to get through some tweets this election. But look, soon we'll have the exit poll cropping up. Any moment now, actually. But I do want to move on to James Aitchison just for a quick little harshness. Right, so James, this election has been a quiet one. And you might be the front runner, many would say. So, given your past, your controversial past meeting with Britain and your removal as Taoiseach, I mean, how can people actually solidify their confidence in you as Taoiseach?
I mean, when you sit and look at it, right? So obviously, yeah, the removals that occurred, but those removals,
Someone kicked out the interview. Someone,
and then Kamala. Like the thing with Kamala had nothing to do with the British element at all. It was their own issue internally. And I had issues. I'm very open about the issues that I had within the government, my own TDs.
Yeah.
Kamala just decided to pull that move instead, which obviously caused issues. Rave had his own issues with me. Obviously, it was about the meeting with Britain. Now, obviously, in hindsight, totally would have approached it a different way. I do stand by it. I do think it was the right thing to do. And there was a real threat there, and I think we need to deal with it. People were being, if you just close your eyes, it's not going to happen. Like, that's realistically wasn't going to do anything, and many people in government would agree with that. Obviously, Rave doing what he'd done, toppled his own government. So, it is what it is. And I do apologise, obviously, and I have apologised unreservedly for what I've done. But I do think the diplomatic approach to things is always the better approach, to be honest. I think closing your eyes and pretending things won't happen has never got anyone anywhere. And in fact, it's kind of the reason why we're in the situation we are at the moment. We've had Labour governments who have closed their eyes. And when I look at the absolute crap that we're in at the moment, the community's dying. It's purely because of them guys,
Yeah, that's a very fair remark. Well, look, hopefully the producers will get back to me on that exit poll. But I do actually want to move
Gillian, we can't hear you, by the way. Your mic's decided to flop.
Oh, I see a man outside. It's got the IRA symbol on it. He must have just been kidnapped.
Oh, and looks like he's gone.
Well, I'm not with you physically. I'm very much here mentally. The highly anticipated exit poll may be appearing any moment now. As part of my producers. So just anticipate.
I can.
Right, sorry. Was awaiting an update there. Any moment now, the exit poll should be appearing on your screen.
So the exit poll is as follows. Just going to take charge here quickly. Fianna Fáil are on projected 7 seats. Fine Gael 6, Labour Party 5, Sinn Féin a measly number 1, and Social Democrats on a big 5. That's your exit poll.
Oh God,
that is your exit poll. So, yeah.
Do you mind if I butt in real quick and ask
Of
Corbin
course, my friend.
Of course.
I can shout down to you and go ramble there.
Yeah, I'm going to butt in and ask Corbin a question real quick. So, Corbin, you said it earlier about, I think it was something about how you did well in government. People basically saying that you've, been terrible in government. And hell, even Hugh over there, who's served as deputy leader of the Labour Party, would say so. Are you still confident that you did well and that the voters can trust you despite, critics saying otherwise?
Well, I think we should be more confident on the future. Like, I think we did not that bad considering, it is winter time now and, inactivity and that. But I think we should really focus on the future. Irish people should care about the future more than the past.
But did you not say that, or something like along the lines of like how you did well and that the voters can trust you?
I don't think I did actually. I think you've actually misquoted me there because I said, given our honesty on like critical issues, I didn't say anything, about how we did amazing. So I don't know where you got that from.
All right, fair enough. Carry on.
Right, well, look, seeing as we have no further questions there from Noah, the exit poll on your screen is providing some serious shock to the nation. It seems Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil have emerged as frontrunners. So I quickly want to move over to blah blah. Look, as an ordinary voter, was this the result you were expecting?
Actually, half, yes. But it's very surprising that Fine Gael has actually gotten 5 seats instead of being very low on the list because, as you know, James Anchin had previously some very extreme controversy, as you know. But honestly, I think that I'm actually more surprised of the Fianna Fáil win because, after some information was released about a certain person, but we won't delve into that. But yeah, Sorry, I need to think a little bit. Excuse me. The second most shocking thing is how big the Social Democrats were placed. 5 seats is pretty large for a party that only originally gotten 1 seat from the previous election, which is actually pretty shocking to me.
That's true, but it is also worth noting that just for the viewers at home, that RTE does have a far lower turnout in our exit poll than previously recorded. So this could all be completely wrong because it is just an exit poll. But in the past we've had accurate results. Let's hope this is also accurate. Keeping to tradition here. But look, I'd like to really quickly move over to Hugh Ahern as well. Hugh, look, you've been a civil servant for quite some time. You've been well versed in politics. What's your take on the exit poll so far?
Yeah, so like as you said, I'm practically a dinosaur compared to the new political landscape. But what shocked me the most was that, sorry, I'm trying to view the exit poll here, but what shocked me the most was that Fianna Fáil came out at such a high number that we, with such little work done, that is really surprising. There was very little work done with Fianna Fáil. They don't even have a proper manifesto. That's incredibly strange. Fine Gael, I pity James. I think James.
Yeah.
I am hoping James will get more than Fianna Fáil, considering there was a lot more work done. There was a manifesto. Labour Party, I think the Labour Party should just have 1 seat or none. They should be obliterated from the political scene, really, this term.
Here.
I think they need to reform themselves, clean themselves up. Maybe a new leader. Maybe. I'm not saying anything, but I think a new Labour leader is needed. Sinn Féin, not much of a surprise. I think they haven't been present. Social Democrats, that is surprising as well. I thought Social Democrats would be coming in second, considering they had a manifesto. Also, I think that there wasn't much canvassing done this term. Usually you get 5-6 DMs from each representative. I explained to them that I'm a senior civil servant and bon voyage. I think I've done it probably Noah and a few other on a good few occasions, so you're well versed in it. But I think that James will bring, if he does form the next government and is going to be the Premier Taoiseach, I think James will be the right man for the right job. I think that I'm speaking in personal capacity now. I'm not representing the civil service, but in a personal view, the last term was incredibly disappointing with activity. I think James will bring an awful lot that is missing. I think also the civil service needs. I think government needs to put more time into the civil service. I try and prepare my ministers as best as possible, whoever they are. The RTE Director General will be aware that each incoming minister is provided with a briefing paper. They're briefed on any matters. Meetings occur, high-level meetings. Statements are prepared. Also it's strange not to get an idea of the front bench. There wasn't a single mention of the front bench. Maybe, my speculation is maybe the parties are struggling to find the appropriate candidates to fill seats. It wouldn't surprise if I get a DM asking to sit on one of the benches. I know they struggle to fill the Ministry of Justice. If any party, Fine Gael, wishes me to return to national politics, I'm certain a deal could be reached there. Maybe a nice cushy foreign affairs or justice would be nice. It would be quite interesting.
In any circumstance, people would, loathe, not to get a portfolio like that.
Yeah, no, and previously I've been sort of looked down upon for these top jobs, but I do bring that wealth of experience. But also, back to the opinion polls, it's usually voter turnout is a lot higher with these opinion polls, and it's disappointing to see. Do you have the exact number of the turnout there compared to the previous election? Does that about you?
In the turnout for the exit poll?
The exit poll, yeah.
Oh, I don't have it on me, but I could be certain it's around 50. That's the estimate I would
that's
give.
Incredibly low. I think that the Department of Foreign Affairs will be scrambling tonight to assure our colleagues across the United Nations that we are an active and engaged community. Because currently, if I was an observer from a very active community, let's say the United States, I would be concerned. Ireland is no longer the top dog.
Well, what I would say to that is, what I would say personally, just to top off this discussion, is that I would find that to be a bit of a defeatist perspective, given that Ireland has had these dips momentarily in the past, and that we have resurged from them. But look, also I want to quickly pivot over to Corbyn. Corbyn, look, this exit poll has just been released, and it would appear that Labour might have a fighting chance this election. What do you make of that?
Well, as I said before, we did have, confidence, so I'm not really surprised, to say the least, that I knew we'd have votes, but I think it's quite positive.
Can I just ask you a question?
Yeah.
Hugh, can I just ask you a question real quick? Hugh, you said about Labour needing a new leader, but a leader was already just elected not too long ago, actually. So if another leader was to be elected, wouldn't that suggest internal instability within the Labour Party?
Yeah, no, I'm aware a new Labour was elected. A new leader of Labour was elected now. But to be straight, the current sitting leader, I would have dealings with members of the Oireachtas. I have great respect for any leader of any political party. It's required that I do. But, I am a firm believer that the political system of Labour, look at Tom Uchter and Killian, they two political powerhouses, Kieran Kerr as well. I think I did a stint about 24 hours as leader of Labour. That's I can't remember that, but I think the Electoral Commission was scrambling to ensure that that wasn't going to be a long stint. But I would be of the view that now is the time that we need to scramble, get the troops back, and Labour just needs to reform itself, because currently it's not in a healthy, stable position that it once was. Labour, when I think of Labour, I think of this great political party that once was. Fine Gael, of course, is my preferred party, but Labour always has delivered a successful government. But saying that now maybe is the time for a new leader, someone who does have experience, and maybe it's time for Killian or someone to come back. Maybe Kira.
I can't put those rumors to rest. I won't be returning. Kira has told me she won't be returning, so unfortunately experience won't be the go-to. But I do have to
maybe myself. If I be excused from the civil service for a term, I would be willing to do my stint in the national interest. But
is that an offer? Is that an offer to the electorate? You would be willing to go for leadership of a party, particularly like Labour?
I think the electorate. I'm considering. I'm content where I am right now, but. If I view in a few weeks' time that the electorate is not being delivered by political parties, and there is a constitutional crisis with leadership not being engaged, then maybe you never know. I would be watching this space, but we what I'd be saying.
Well, look, before I'm getting a word in my ear that we count may appear soon. So I want to quickly pivot to Jeremy. Jeremy, look, you're the man on the map this election. You've definitely done your research. I know that for sure. And look, no matter how flamboyant you may appear, you are very experienced in this area. So I want to say, you have the last election beside you. You have the vacant seats of dissolved Éireann behind you. What do we need to look out for? Jeremy, you are nice and quiet, Jeremy.
Apologies. If this exit poll is anything to go by, right, we're seeing a significant loss of seats for Sinn Féin. So that's leaving openings, as you can see, if only I had one of those little pointer sticks.
Yeah.
You're seeing some in East Ulster, West Ulster, North Dublin, Shannon, Munster. Pretty much everywhere there will be seats opening up, and that potential for parties who may have a lack of seats, such as Social Democrats, where there are 2 seats, should kind of spring up. So it's really something we should keep our eyes on, and obviously I'll move to the side once we get our first count in, by the way. We could, speaking of getting our first counts in, not that we have one, I apologize, I was leading you on there a bit, but our counts are coming in via
the Electoral Commission.
The Electoral Commission, sorry, my apologies. We're getting them through a new system, obviously, as we had to do some budget cuts here at RTE after the demise of DNR Heathcote. We brought
and actually the end of the fax system.
The fax system, yes. We've speaking of which, we've now moved to a system we like to call the outlooking system. Nothing to do with Microsoft. Don't get your fax mixed up there. Totally not being emailed. The responses by the commission, definitely not happening. I believe, are we getting a count one in? Sorry,
that may be incoming. That may be incoming.
Is this in my ear?
That may be I don't think it is in your ear, but that may be incoming. Well, look, we're gonna I want to quickly. This will be our last pivot. Thank God, before the counts are assembled, because the Electoral Commission is coming in with their Oh, by the way, I love that we have a new salute from I'm gonna guess that's not Dean O'Connor, by the way, given that he has been retired for a very extensive period of time, and he's not actually that active.
It's a protester. Can we remove him, please?
That's. Can I just jump in about the protester? You know,
he's quite unfit. So I want to quickly pivot to
vans.
Oh, we have a van in the.
Oh dear.
That's. It's strange to see. It's always a great laugh election night to see.
It is actually. It is actually. A bit of very reminiscent of Just Stop Oil, right?
It wouldn't happen if it wasn't.
Actually, I love to see that James Aikison's seat has been disturbed, by the way. So look, I want to quickly pivot to Noah. Noah, we've seen the exit polls and the pundits' reactions. So what's the reaction from the public? Have we seen any tweets yet at the moment?
Well, to be honest, I'm just refreshing the page now, and to be honest, from the reaction from the public is just all mostly right now going against the Labour Party, such as, and I'll read one tweet, for example, here, at Jesse Moore RBX, saying, the woke Labour Party cannot be trusted with government. New Labour equals inactivity and new danger. Disgraceful. Vote Fine Gael. So it's mainly what I could say right now is that the public is going towards Fine Gael, but that there's only been a few tweets in, so I can't really say for sure.
That's very fair, actually. Well, look,
I hate to interrupt, but I believe I've just received through our new outlooking system. It appears that we have count one. Yes. Count one is in. So you know how I was saying about that Sinn Féin seats maybe dwindling? Well, one has just been announced in West Ulster. Yes, folks. One in West Ulster. 1 second. Apologies now.
That's okay. West Ulster is not
West Ulster.
One.
West Ulster, we have one seat going to Sinn Féin. So that's Sinn Féin's first seat of the night. Maybe the last, we don't know. Well,
You
I
don't
know,
know.
but you don't. Well, actually, I don't know. I'm lying here. And
Not the first time, is it?
okay,
Liar.
right.
Go on, continue.
I'll give you one more seat. I believe just having a look here now, there's a bit of distortion. I believe the EC are based in Galway, you see, so there's a bit of Wi-Fi discrepancy. But I believe we're going to Dublin North for a Social Democrat seat, is it?
Oh.
Yes, it is. It's 1 second here now.
That's interesting to see.
What colours? There we go. Social Democrats, Dublin North. That's their first seat of the night.
Well, look, Jeremy. This is not particularly a shock, given that Dublin North is not only a very left-wing constituency, but also Dublin North Dublin North emerged as a Social Democrat stronghold under Taoiseach, like C. Crattock and whatnot. So it seems to be their kind of mainland when it comes to seat declarations. But the Electoral Commission are actually they're about to organise count two. So I want to quickly get some reactions from pundits and political spokespersons, if not what not even. We're going to move to James Aikison. James, are you alive? Are you with us? Do we have a pulse?
I'm still here, albeit I was run over by a van, but I'm still here.
It's okay, you're slightly disabled, but we can work with that. James, look, you know what, relatable. We're going to move on. So, James, we have not had a Fine Gael seat yet. What constituency do you think will be the first to call for Fine Gael?
Oh, Killian, this is not our first time around the block. Connacht is usually where we do well. So, out west, Dublin South is usually where we do alright as well. So I've been more than surprised if we don't hear that pretty soon. If we don't start hearing about those two constituencies, I personally would be a bit concerned because they are quite Fine Gael strongholds. But yeah, no surprises yet. To be honest with you, in terms of the exit poll itself, seeing the Social Democrats doing well doesn't surprise me. C. Crattock's first term, it was after an absolute turmoil prior to it, and Social Democrats always do well when the country's in a really bad position. That's the moderate ground, and people really love that. But yeah, that's my thoughts. We're quietly confident. I'm not sure why Labour's so quietly confident, considering the absolute mess they've created.
Oh, okay. Well, look,
yes,
we did have our opportunity to debate. That's like, I wish I could go into it right now, but look, we can't at the moment.
I would hate to interrupt, but there appears to have an IRL personnel have.
Well, look, it's just another misinformation spreader. It's just another misinformation spreader. Well, look,
Indeed.
we're gonna move on to count two here, right? So Connacht has been Connacht has been declared. Connacht has been declared for Fine Gael. That is a Fine Gael seat. If we're moving over to Munster, Munster has just declared a Labour seat. East Ulster has gone for Fianna Fáil, and we are waiting. I believe West Ulster, we're waiting a change. We're waiting a result in there for West Ulster. It's about to come for us, but so far it's Connacht Fine Gael, East Ulster Fianna Fáil, and Munster Labour. Yeah, these are some really quick results coming in from the Electoral Commission. The votes seem to be compiling at the same time. Go on.
I've just had a look at our map there now. So we're now currently on, just for our production crew, so 1 seat for Labour, 1 seat for the Social Democrats, 1 seat for Fianna Fáil, and 1 seat for Fine Gael, which I have not recorded. Stand by. Now, so let's have a look here. So we obviously have the rainy section in the west here. I like to call that Connacht. Fine Gael's stronghold. I don't recall an election where they have not won that. If we have a look at our old map, we'll see that they also got Connacht in full. They dominated that region of the country. In terms of Dublin North, as you were saying, Clint, it's a very liberal left-winging side of the country. Social Democrats gaining 2 seats in the previous election. I'm just having a look at the map now. Yeah, so there's really not much to say. Predictions wise, I'm going to assume that the majority of Fine Gael seats will likely be in the west of the country, probably in that Connacht region, maybe dipping into Shannon or the Midlands. But that's obviously all to see. Coming up, obviously no change in West Ulster yet. Still waiting on a change there, EC. you can get the message in, that'd be perfect. But yes.
Right. Look, so that's like two counts in a row, which is I'm not sure. I can't remember the last time we got that from the Electoral Commission, what I had. So it's absolutely pouring in at a similar time here. But look, I want to quickly move to what you call it, Corbyn Clark, the Labour Party spokesperson. Look, you have yet, I believe your first seat is in here for Munster. Is that a shock to you? Is that a shock surprise, or do you think Munster is a bit of a stronghold? Where are you leaning on this?
Honestly, I think Munster might be a wee bit of a stronghold for us because, you can see the last election map. We had a seat there as well. So, honestly.
Yeah. Look, Noah, any public opinion on that, Noah? Or Noah's dead, maybe. Okay. We're gonna move to...
jump in?
Yeah, of course, Hugh. Hugh, I was just about to move to you. These counts have come in. What's your take?
Great stuff. I think that it was surprising to see Sinn Féin getting the first seat, but the Electoral Commission has their way. But it's interesting to see. I wouldn't be worried for Fine Gael. I think Fine Gael are going to do superb this election. Now, for Labour, I'd be incredibly worried. Labour has always had that strong majority. But now I think it'll be the rise of blue. I remember when I was deputy leader, there was the Oris Nuchtron, I forget who was the president at the time, but I remember they put the Oris in red for our election. So maybe if the president is feeling generous, he may request to put the Oris in blue to mark Fine Gael uprise. But I think that hopefully James' results will show well. Labour, I think Labour just needs to stick with their one seat, and good luck to them. I think that it's been a devastating campaigning season for them. But I think I really, really do wish James the best of luck, and hopefully he'll be our next Taoiseach. Also just in relation to the voters outside, I think the voters turnout for this election, I'm just having a quick look over here, there seems to be a good bit of engagement.
If I may real quick, I think that's classified as a riot since they are breaking into the election live.
It's given that the roof is non-collide. It's given that the roof is non-collide. I want to quickly pivot to the Electoral Commission results that they've provided us so far, because they seem to be painting quite a clear picture here, which is that the strongholds are remaining partisan, so the seat counts have not come in as a surprise yet. But it is worth noting that Munster is not particularly a stronghold for Labour, which means this could very much indicate that that Munster is a gain, if you could consider it. Now, they have got Munster in the past. So this isn't particularly surprising for them. In fact, last election they did have Ulster.
I just say I love the camera angle right now.
I do too, but this could be considered a gain. But look, I want to pivot to blah blah, right? As an ordinary voter, you're seeing these results trickle in. They're not particularly surprising. Are you upset that the results seem to be trickling in the same they did last election?
Honestly, yes, a little bit. Since hold on, excuse me, my brain is also, since it's 9 p.m. for me.
Yeah.
Existence is pain. Alright, my thoughts came in officially. So basically, I'm kinda mad that Fianna Fáil has, gained 6 votes. 6 votes. I mean, how is that possible? I know Republic still, but since all of the controversy that has gone through Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, I'm actually extremely surprised and kind of mad that somehow all these parties has gotten a lot of votes. And in my opinion, all the parties right now are kind of terrible. Not going to lie.
Yeah.
There was no actual.
I really do hate to interrupt, but Victoria O'Neill from the Electoral Commission, who is of course our dictator and boss and CEO, has released yet another count. So if Jeremy O'Mara could get his crayons out and keep track of this one.
Just getting that in now.
Yeah, I think Victoria O'Neill is taking a while to author it, actually.
Give me 2 seconds.
You know,
Yeah.
can I just say one thing on Victoria's work? I think Victoria deserves a lot of credit. You know, Victoria, I've had the privilege of working with Victoria on numerous occasions, and you know, Victoria really does deserve.
No means no, Eugene. No means
quite a lot
no.
of credit. I think she could deserve a medal, like another medal. You know, I think that a lot of our political viewers sort of forget the hardworking public and civil servants behind the scenes who work very hard, day out and day in, to ensure that the government and public services function. And, you know, I just want to say thank you very much to our hardworking public servants and civil servants who are working incredibly hard to keep the ship afloat during this election. You know, like from our diplomatic corps to our other individuals. And you know, I think that RTE do an excellent, like I work very close.
I'm going to have to interrupt you. I'm very very sorry, but we have count 3. Okay.
Oh, very good. Look forward to it.
I'm just going to run through count 3 really quickly here. So we have a result for North.
Oh, here we go.
North Leinster is going towards Fianna Fáil. We have a count in for Dublin North. The Social Democrats, you'll notice that's a second seat now in Dublin North for the Social Democrats. And then Shannon, with Social Democrats again getting a third seat now. They're now on 3. So the current seat totals are looking like we have Fianna Fáil on 2 seats, Fine Gael on 1 seat, Sinn Féin on 1 seat, Labour on 1 seat, and the Social Democrats on a big 3 seats. In terms of looking at the last election here, let me just stand back. Again, Social Democrats regaining territory here in Dublin North. Not so much in Shannon. This is a surprise. They haven't gotten seats in Shannon before, so it's definitely surprising. No seats now yet called for the likes of South Leinster and the Midlands, but just a word there to the EC just to get those in as soon as they can.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I can have a word real quick.
Of course you can.
It's honestly extremely surprising that the Social Democrats have honestly now has gotten 3 seats and are actively very high in numbers because during the last general election and you know the last term before this general election, we have seen excuse me for a moment, sorry. We have seen
yeah. Well, look, the results we've seen are... Continue.
Yeah, sorry, excuse me. I for emergency reasons, I have to leave now, so bye-bye.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, look, in terms of result, what we're seeing is a wide mass count from the Electoral Commission. So I want to quickly pivot to James, who more than likely has, you know, he's well-versed in elections, he's seen many of these before. So James, I just want to pivot to you. Look, the Electoral Commission has just released a huge mass count. What does that look like to you? I mean, as someone who's seen these elections before, is this optimistic for Fine Gael?
I mean,
profligate with
yourself,
the turf.
The Electoral
try
Commission
banana
like
instead,
to mess
please.
about with us and keep us on the edge of our seats.
Eugene,
When it comes to votes and stuff, it's just joys, keeps things interesting.
No means no, Eugene.
Look, I've seen elections where it's literally 4 or 5 counts out and it's all went to one party. I've seen that happen before.
Yeah.
So like, you know, God knows what way this will go, to be honest. I think it's interesting that Social Democrats are gaining in areas and are doing so well. So you know, like maybe that's you know, foreboding what could come. That said, this could be them capped. You don't know. Fianna Fáil, I don't think it's any surprise like where they're picking up seats and how they're doing. It'd be interesting to see the swing, obviously from Labour to Social Democrats, and see how big of that swing would be. Because typically, when it comes to Labour voters, they would be more likely to vote for a moderate party like Social Democrats if they're moving away from the Labour Party. If you know what I mean, if that kind of makes sense. So like that would be an interesting thing to see if that swing is quite large. Then you know you'd be looking probably at a Social Democrat win, or do very close to so. Fine Gael personally, like we've got 1 seat at the moment. Hopefully the next few Crowns come in, we start seeing picking up seats and stuff like that there. But yeah, I'm not the boat isn't sank. It's only what, second, third round, so I'm not stressing.
That's true. Corbin, I want to quickly pivot to you. It seems Labour is being left out in terms of the spoils of this election. Do you think that's kind of I suppose removing or withdrawing her confidence from the race so far, or do you think the Irish people they maintain their confidence in you?
Well, I mean, it's only the start, really. You know, you can't really just make a thing of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I still do believe we have some confidence. Obviously, I didn't say we have full confidence that we'll, be the biggest party or whatever. I just said we have confidence.
Yeah.
So, honestly, I can't really say at the moment.
That's fair enough. Look, James. Actually, sorry, not James. Hugh Ahern. Look, we're gonna move into count 4. That's the next count anyway.
Yep.
But given that we've had 3 counts now, and the results are painting a clear picture that Fine Gael and or that Fianna Fáil rather and the Social Democrats seem to be the front runners. I mean, what's your take on that?
Yeah, so like it's surprising to see Fianna Fáil turn out so well. It's very surprising to see Fianna Fáil rise so much. Now, maybe in the Electoral Commission headquarters with Victoria at the wheel, maybe they're holding off on the golden ticket for James, trying to ensure James doesn't get too excited. Or maybe myself to ensure that. But, I think that it's good to see a party that put in, like the Social Democrats, that they put in their manifesto. It's good to see them getting their seats. While I'm surprised to see Fianna Fáil getting 2 seats. Labour, fine. Sinn Féin, grand. Sinn Féin probably could get 0 seats. Should have gotten 0 seats. Maybe their voter probably was their internal people. Labour, I think Labour may get 1 more seat, may not. I think it'll be interesting to see it. I think that at this stage, it will be incredibly important that we get a clear picture for government formation. I am predicting that whoever tonight, maybe it'll be the leader of the Social Democrats. Who is the leader of the Social Democrats?
That is Chris _P_cream.
Yeah. To be blunt, he's not as present. I think that if Fine Gael go into government, I would be hoping, with the Social Democrats, I would be severely hoping that James will be the next Taoiseach. I think it is incredibly important that we have someone with experience at the wheel, not a unknown party leader.
I'm so very sorry. I hate to interrupt you again. However, what time it is. It's count 4.
Can I just say one last thing for count 4? I think if this is going to be an interesting, I haven't seen the vote yet, but if what count 4 will bring, I think count 4 will make or break it for the results. I think count 4 will be a critical count.
Well, I have some news for you. So, count 4, we're starting off in the Midlands. So that's the first seat now for the Midlands, and it's going to Fine Gael. James, I'm sure, is getting excited down there. I can see the excitement grueling in his face. Now, going to East Ulster, we're going to Labour. That's their second seat of the night, I believe. Yes, it is. It's their second seat of the night. Oh, what a pleasant surprise. We head down to South Leinster, and they're getting just another one. So we have Labour now in South Leinster also. And then our final seat in count 4 delivering 4 seats. Ironic. We're looking at Fianna Fáil. A little Italian flag brewing down there, it looks like. Yeah. You'd know far too much about that.
Right. Okay.
Now, that means that brings the totals now to Fianna Fáil at 3 seats, Fine Gael at 2 seats, Sinn Féin remaining at their 1 seat, Labour at 3, and the Social Democrats at 3. Labour shooting up to 3, sorry, that's a correction there. So now we have 3 parties on the same number of seats. We have 3 parties, Fianna Fáil, Labour and the Social Democrats on 3 seats. In comparison to last term's election, so Labour are retaining their East Ulster seat. We have Fianna Fáil retaining a North Leinster seat. I don't know if I called that. Fine Gael gaining a Midland seat, one they haven't held recently. Labour gaining one in South Leinster. Labour Fianna Fáil retaining their seat in Munster, which I find actually Fianna Fáil getting Munster. I think that's pretty in keeping with history, as we might say. If anyone's familiar with Irish history, that's no surprise. In terms of anything funny happening so far, I think the map is becoming a bit more populated. We're starting to see those front runners. I don't know if we can say the result yet, but we're certainly starting to get a picture painted for us.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, I understand that. So before we need to control ourselves here in the studio in preparation for the next count, but I want to quickly pivot to Noah, actually. Noah, have you been tracking the live feed? What do we see from the public?
Yeah, and to be honest, it's been quite dry the last, but there's one tweet I did miss, actually. At Kyle Roblox 9 says, Social Democrats for the win. It's between S and the Social Democrats and Fine Gael, so he is not wrong there. It's between them two. But apart from that, the last tweet was 10 minutes ago, but that was pretty much gives no opinion whatsoever, so I'm not even going to read it out. Just basically, Twitter's been surprisingly dry.
Yeah. Well, that could definitely be linked to the low turnout, the low engagement. Well, in fairness, I think engagement this election is actually pretty regular, so I'm not sure if the activity dip has affected the amount of discussion going on. But look, the results are starting to paint a clear picture. We know who the front runners are becoming. So I think as the canvas gets filled in and the vacant seats get filled too, it would appear that the exit poll is going to become increasingly accurate in this. But it is worth noting that Labour are on 3 seats when many expected that their themselves to crumble. So I want to move over to Corbyn on this. If she's alive, she could be AFK. But look, 3 seats for Labour. Is that unexpected for you? Corbyn's died, I think. Corbyn's died.
Can I just say something before Corbyn comes back?
Of course, yeah.
I will admit, like, based off what I've heard, I think that the activity dip will affect the votes a bit, because in previous elections we've seen, it's been quite a decent turnout. But based on the activity dip, you can it's fair to say that you're not going to get the numbers that you're accustomed to. But I don't think there'll be like a significant difference. It'll probably just be like a slight dip, or maybe a bit of a portion of a dip. But I wouldn't expect any major difference whatsoever to affect the results.
Well, look, I want to pivot back over to James Akerson actually after this following count. James, Fine Gael are being given a bit of a boost this election. Do you think this could be the showstopper for you? Do you think that they've gotten their Connacht seat, but they also get that I want to say West Midlands seat? So do you think that, given they've kind of parched themselves in, and I say they, even though you lead the party, given that you've kind of parched yourself into this new constituency, is that a positive sign for you? Do you think the electorate might be trusting you with a bit more responsibility?
Well, look, I don't want to count my chickens before they've hatched or anything like that. But it's interesting that the Midlands have came through. Personally, I can't actually. I'll be brutally honest. I can't remember the last time Fine Gael actually held a seat in the Midlands. I could be completely wrong, but I believe it's been a good while. It's been quite some time actually. To be honest, I think maybe Vicky and Victoria, and to be honest with you, when I'm sitting looking at, was the Midlands even a constituency back then? Obviously constituencies have changed and stuff like that. Because the Midlands usually doesn't go towards us. The fact it has,
Eugene, please, for goodness sake.
It's a positive thing. We also, want to thank farmers in the Midlands for their support. And yes, we do greatly appreciate it. And don't be worrying, we will fix those country roads in the Midlands. We will get it sorted. Something that
do we have to? Is that a necessity? Can we not just keep them struggling?
Well, look, listen here, mister. You want your potatoes for your Sunday dinner?
I don't actually eat this meat. Hold on a minute. That's misinformation, because I don't actually eat that. So are you lying to the electorate right now?
You don't eat potatoes. You call yourself Irish. Shame on you.
You're a
Shame
Protestant.
on
Well,
you.
you are a Protestant, so we're going to move on from that quickly.
Oh
But
my
look,
God.
what
Oh,
we're
wow.
gonna. I want to keep cutting in with this though, James. James, you, although having a new constituency here, are still behind Labour. That is that not embarrassing?
Not embarrassed. Because like, look, we're not that far in. You know, at the end of the day, you know, God knows what way it'll all plan out. Surprised the Labour's doing so well, but then you know, people do vote what they know best, I guess. Now personally, if it was me, I would have concerns about Labour. You know, look at the debates, look at what they've been doing. But look, everyone's entitled to their opinions.
No means no,
you know,
Eugene.
Whatever
No
seat
means
counts
no.
Fine
You're
Gael
too
ends up getting, we're
profligate
obviously
with the
going to
turf.
represent all of
Would you
Ireland,
try
no matter
banana instead, please?
who they vote for. At the end of the day,
Eugene,
we'll pick up the
Eugene,
slack where
please.
Labour has filled in the past. We've always picked it up, so we're always going to do that and represent Ireland on a whole, just not our Fine Gael voters and our farmers, you know.
I just jump in there about the Labour result, because I presume I've been one of the biggest critics about Labour tonight, and it's a bit embarrassing. You know, like I think it's incredibly. First off, may I congratulate James on that second seat from Munster? Was it Munster? To be blunt, I'm more. Oh no, it wasn't. It was the capital. Like you know, I did vote. I must declare, I did vote Fine Gael. Always will. It'll be the party of choice. You know, and I think that it's incredibly interesting to see Labour gaining them 3 seats, but also Fianna Fáil. I think Labour. It's interesting. I think the voter still, either Labour has this huge confidence vote within their own circles, or maybe, and I'm not accusing anything, maybe they're paying people to vote.
Hugh, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna hate
2
me.
minutes. Leave me finish for one moment, Jeremy, and then you can get back to the election.
Hugh, we want to hear
I'm
it. So
under
go ahead,
pressure here.
Jeremy.
They are going to cut my salary if I don't get this done. Folks,
Yes.
It's count 5 time.
Go right ahead.
Are you ready? My heart is beating. I have it in front of me. So the map has been updated just for our camera crew. They want to update it here. We're going to go straight to West Ulster. So that's up top there, top left. We're going to see a seat there now for Fianna Fáil. So that's West Ulster fully declared now. Hopefully there's no recounts. God bless, God willing. Then we're going to we jump over across Loch, not Ness, not Nay, and we're going to find a Sinn Féin seat there in East Ulster. We're going to jump down to South Leinster, so that's down the bottom right, and we're going to see another Fianna Fáil seat. It's a bit of a trend here now. Fianna Fáil gaining some seats here. And then we're going to jump up a bit there to Dublin North. We're going to see the final seat declared for Dublin North, and that's for Sinn Féin. And then we're going to head just underneath that to Dublin South, where we'll see that little blue dot, and that's Fine Gael. It's a little, if you haven't noticed, we have a little band of low pressure weather moving across the middle of the country here in the form of Fine Gael and the homosexual that runs it.
Oh.
In terms of I apologize.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I would actually. Illegal.
Like I think that slander there.
In other news, we have
like I'd be demanding. I think that Jeremy should apologise to James Anderson.
I actually would agree with that. I would actually demand an apology from my man on the map. Jeremy, can we get an apology to James Aitchison? Thank you.
I have an election to run here.
When I get into the department tomorrow morning, I'll be speaking with the Director General about.
Okay, you're going to call for my resignation, Miss Kamala. Anyway,
your resignation.
We see a band of forestry up the north there with a little forest fire brewing up at the top. Interesting. That's in the form of Labour, if you couldn't tell.
Very creative, yeah.
The Italian flag remains there in Munster.
That's a shame.
I feel like leaving that there. Also, yes, I'm just being informed as I also am the Director of Legal Affairs. If you have been offended by anything said on tonight's show, please find our complaints form we take your complaints very seriously. We
Do
even
we?
have a notice board in the staff
Do we?
room dedicated to all of
Oh
them.
no, we just burned the complaints actually, but you never heard that from me.
Well, yeah, fuel prices are gone through the roof, and so have our complaints forms. People say it's a coincidence. I say it's planned. Trends trends. Let's have a quick look at the trends. So, looks like Labour have actually I've already called that seat. Never mind. Sinn Féin have regained their or retained, sorry, their seat in West Ulster. Hopefully, there's no car bombings up there now soon enough. But that's all to play for, as they might say. In Dublin North, gaining a seat, taking one away from Labour. Labour certainly not going to be happy with that one. I think there's going to be some strong words said there. They love their Dublin North. And then Fine Gael retaining their Dublin South seat. I don't know who'll be seating in that. Whoever is the most liberal, I suppose. Then moving west to the Midlands. People forget the Midlands exist, and I'm going to be honest, before I saw this map today, so did I. Fine Gael gaining a seat there, either from Labour or Fianna Fáil. We don't know yet. Well, we don't know yet. Let's wait until count 6. Anyway, that's count 5, folks. Back to you, in the studio.
Can I just,
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah, I'm just going to read a tweet real quick because I've actually just come across this.
And what is the hashtag that our audience can use?
If I get it right with this time about the Joe Biden seats kicking in, hashtag election life RX.
Very true. Very true. Go on.
Perfect. So I got a tweet here that's from Carl at Carl9, and he says if Labour gets the most seats in this election, it pretty much puts a final nail in the coffin of government activity. It'll cause the nation to riot, and people have already guaranteed to leave. Why have people voted for a party who will do nothing? Shocking. I just want to get your people's thoughts on that. I guess the question is, would it put a final nail in the coffin if Labour were to be in government again?
Oh, I think that we've disconnected. Look, in terms of Labour's performance, I think there's a lot that remains to be said there. But I want to actually pivot to James Akeson about this. James, Labour's share of the vote seems to be immediately dropping. Well, that's what emerges when you stare at these results. But what I want to say is, in terms of Fine Gael, would you commit to a coalition with Labour? Would you stay out of government with Labour? What can be said there?
Look, we've talked about this internally.
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest with you. I wouldn't have a lot of faith in Labour and their current team. I would have serious concerns about going into government with them. Like major concerns. Especially if Labour was the major party. They were holding Taoiseach and major cabinet positions, and Fine Gael was obviously the junior partner in that. I know I personally wouldn't be comfortable with it, and I know majority of my team also wouldn't be comfortable with it either. So I think if Labour does come out top, and they come to us and they're like, here, look, do you Fine Gael want to go into government with us? I think that a straight answer would be no. It's purely a competency thing. I honestly just wouldn't have a lot of faith in their ability to govern, considering.
Well, then what would you say to the Labour Party representatives who would call their faith in you rather deteriorating even, given your time as Taoiseach?
Yeah, but like my time in Taoiseach, albeit the foreign affairs thing aside, I really like, and Hugh can, he can stand testimony to this. Like, I really was working my ass off with communities. It wasn't my issue that it wasn't coming across. I was actually being stopped by.
Do you want to name some?
Eugene,
what
please, for
department did you say?
You're caught in a cul-de-sac now. There's nothing for you but to reverse.
Oh, sorry, I got that wrong. Do you want to list some? I do. I'm not saying this, by the way, out of unfair scrutiny, but I do want to just add some spice here. Do you want to list some communities? Do you want to list some communities' accomplishments, James?
Mr. Aitchison. Mr. Aitchison.
No,
I've been informed by the deep state that I'm going to have
saved by the bell.
Saved by the bell.
Can I just?
No,
well, we have to get the results,
unfortunately. For testing.
You can
Don't
after.
give me
Actually,
those
if we
eyes.
can get him on the books for right
out, Eugene, please. Put it out, Eugene, please.
Folks,
Carlsbergers for testing. Don't give me those eyes.
Sorry, now. So we're going to jump.
Get a firm grip of yourself,
in the
Eugene, please.
Of the country, conveniently known as the Midlands. We're gaining a Fianna Fáil seat there. Fianna Fáil going to be very happy with that. An interesting trend now. Fianna Fáil gaining quite a bit of seats in comparison to last election where they got, sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, about 7 or 8 seats. They're now currently sat on 6. They're the current largest projected party. We're going to jump just to the right there. We're going to see the Social Democrats are gaining one in North Leinster. Nothing interesting there yet. Social Democrats have now, I believe, they've officially beaten last election's results. They're now on 4. Last time they got a whopping 2. So certainly, I'm sure there's going to be celebrations there in the Social Democrats headquarters. We're going to jump now to Shannon. So that's just above Munster, or the Italian flag, as one might say. And we're going to see a Labour seat being declared. I know there was talks of potential riots and mass exodus. Labour gaining a seat, possibly a worrying sign. I don't know. I have to be impartial. In other news, Galway yet to recall their seat. I assume that's a broadband issue, so we'll wait on that one. The Galway office.
I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. When was the last time we communicated with someone from Galway? Have we spoken to Galway?
I'm going to be completely honest. That first seat was received by post. So.
Okay.
We had the postman come in.
So what, did that come in 4 days early, was it?
Oh, yeah, they sent it in 4 days early. It was already declared.
Look, Galway's internet has actually been a topic of concern for quite some time.
It has.
I want to actually pivot to Hugh Ahern, who's been a civil servant for a while. Hugh, look, Galway's internet has not just deteriorated, it's been brought to a standstill. Why do you think Fine Gael is the party to kind of recover that?
Yeah, well, I presume that's my department as Assistant Secretary General to the government. Hopefully the incoming government won't sack me over my appearance tonight. Touch wood, they won't. But, like, as said, my post is responsible for communications and communities and all of that. So, like, I take a particular interest in Galway. I would work very closely with any...
Do you like Galway?
I paid many visits to Galway. Galway.
Well, it's sort of a ridiculous county, isn't it? I mean, they get away with an awful lot.
No, I wouldn't agree that. Galway is
really
a super county. If the Fine Gael leader was to approach me and offer me to represent the good people of Galway, I would do it without question. That's how much commitment I have.
You're sort of submitting to James Aitchison there, is that it?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. Maybe James may issue an invite if he doesn't have his leadership.
James, come in on this, James. Would you offer an invite to Hugh Ahern and the people of Galway? Would you do that?
Hey, token straight
I mean,
friend.
me and Hugh's always got on really well. I think he's really, really great at what he does. He's very passionate. He's passionate about the community and stuff, and I think that's what really we're missing in the community. So, if Hugh's generally interested, I'm really happy to have a conversation with him off screen, obviously.
Well, Hugh, there is a big issue that remains to be seen here, though. I mean, Galway is a county in need. I love the flag behind me, by the way. I've suddenly changed my allegiance. Galway is a county in need, and civil servants like you are the reason that Galway is still actually alive and breathing. So, if you were to depart, then how would that work? Would it be over for Galway then?
No, I wouldn't say that at all. I would be proposing that we move the cabinet meetings to Galway, that the Taoiseach and the entirety cabinet travel to Galway. Now, also, might I add, I would believe that if I was to depart the civil service, we would ensure, and touch wood, that may not occur, but you never know. If I'm offered a greater office, I may consider departing. I've done my time within the civil service. I would particularly
I really can't believe we're doing this again, but I hate to interrupt you, but we do actually have another guy coming in. I'm sorry. you will actually,
I'll have to get up onto that stage. And
anyway,
I'll just have to push you off.
Someone turn the microphone off.
James, I'll talk to you.
1 second, I have not updated the map. So we have count 7. Sorry, that is my bad. We have count 7 here now. So count 7 has just come in. I'm going to go straight to the postman. He's just handed me the results from Connacht. Yes.
I will hold an emergency department meeting this evening with I don't know who the acting minister is, to be straight, but I will hold an emergency meeting and with the Electoral Commission, and I will give out to them that it came by post. That's a national embarrassment.
Well, well, look, Hugh. It is worth noting though that's kind of a criticism of Victoria O'Neill. Do you want to pursue that criticism, or are you willing to keep your life?
Anyway,
I mean, a career.
Anyway,
we're
not done count 7. We're not done count 7.
Okay, Jeremy, quickly finish this up, Jeremy.
I need to breathe here. Okay, so this conduct, obviously, Fine Gael, no surprises there. That I believe that second seat is actually James Aitchison's home, or cardboard box, as some might say. Then we move to East Ulster, where we're seeing a Social Democrat seat. Another jolly time for the Social Democrat. Where are we going now? Sorry. Dublin South, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil. That's Dublin complete. Dublin has voted, and they've voted not for Labour. That's basically the gist of tonight. They haven't voted for Labour, and that's the same for that's it. Sorry, and the Midlands. The Midlands dislike Labour, it seems, if we're going on a bit of an analysis train. So that leaves, looking at the map, one final seat to declare, and that seat is in Munster. The Italian flag lives on. Surprisingly, who knew?
Well, I did.
You did, and I think it's pretty clear here. The government will be hung. No clear winner will return from this single seat, so it will be a hung government. And yes, Hugh Ahern, you can turn your microphone back on.
Right, Hugh. Look, you've been approached, or rather, you're approaching a career here, it seems, with Fine Gael, and you're striking a deal with James Aitchison. What does this mean for the postal system of Galway?
Now, I wouldn't say that I've been offered anything yet. James hasn't even reached out. Maybe James could drop me a DM. But like if I return to government in whatever form, maybe it would be a hard decision to make to depart. I just got a DM there from James. It would be hard to make a decision if I wanted to depart the civil service. But, maybe if I was offered the right position, defence or something, I would consider working with my cabinet colleagues and ensuring that we had a proper working postal system. I would ensure that we now would create an active postal system with Unpost, with maybe the first Unpost Postmaster General, or something along them lines. I think there is opportunity there to reform and ensure that we have a working electoral system. But also, if I was to be given the immense privilege of serving within government as a cabinet minister, I would work incredibly close with whoever to provide an accurate, transparent, active, I would assure the voter of that, an active government, and I would serve James in whatever position he would be willing to give me.
I have to move to James though for a last take before Count 8 releases. James, look, the postal system of Galway, it's in dire straits here. What does Fine Gael offer that postal office? And I mean that with the utmost of sincerity.
What we offer them is a free tea and biscuit break. We need motivation. I think we need to build more post offices, more post boxes. As we all know, carrier picking just no longer works anymore with the global warming that's affecting Connacht, as we all see. Look, there's a tornado in Leitrim today. Like, what the fuck? So you know what I mean? I know, literally. We got to do something about that. And I think a good, strong post office, it's the only way forward. Email just doesn't cut it anymore. So yeah, nice little post office. Maybe like, nice wee green. You know what I mean? Not too dirty green, but like a nice off shade,
I'm afraid I have to interrupt you actually. We're just moving through the Galway internet that Jeremy O'Mara, our man on the map, a distinguished title might I add, has he's been handed count
Sorry,
8.
I'm just sat on a relaxing couch here that I've
Sorry, wait. Before you
installed.
even say any of that, though, I have to interrupt by saying that this is an ad break from this is a paid for ad by Electoral Commissioner Victoria O'Neill. If you do not vote or you challenge the sentiment of the Electoral Commission, you may not just lose your career, but your life. Jeremy, please feel free to release count 8.
Count number 8. Okay, let me struggle to get off this couch. I have the results in my hand. The Italian flag has been broken. The final seat tonight is going to Fine Gael. So, final results. Final
Congratulations,
results.
James.
Final results. So final results now. Fianna Fáil emerging as the country's largest party on 7 seats. Fine Gael emerging as the second largest party on 6. Sinn Féin emerging as the lowest, the losers. I'm sorry, Sinn Féin, but you lost.
Okay.
3 seats. 3 seats, not bad, but it's an L. Labour not doing much better. You're on 4, buddies. Like, what happened? That's a rhetorical question, by the way.
Lordy.
We don't need to go into that. And then the Social Democrats sitting nicely in the middle with 5. So if we compare that to last year's, or not last year's results, Jesus, I'm getting ahead of myself there now. The maps aren't entirely too dissimilar. A lot of red has diminished significantly. There was that little red tornado path, if you will, running through the centre of the country there, merging off to Dublin. It kind of looks like a dinosaur if you really squint your eyes.
I don't want to squint.
That's subjective. Now that has been replaced by some gobbledygook. We have obviously as I'm now going to call the blue starry plough moving through the middle of the country there, from east to west in the most literal sense, from Dublin South all the way to Connacht. Fine Gael have a seat, and then just one in Munster, just to really throw things off, which is certainly interesting if anyone's familiar with.
Jeremy, I don't want to interrupt, but many people are texting in saying that Munster is more developed technologically than Connacht. Is that true? Do we have statistics on that? What are the figures?
I'm going to be honest. Munster
I have knowledge.
Munster have a bus. Connacht
they do
don't have a bus. And I think that says a lot. Anywho, in Shannon, it's just Social Democrats and Labour. Labour retaining their Shannon seat. Labour, to be fair, have retained quite a few seats, but they have lost. Mainly, it looks like to Fianna Fáil. Fianna Fáil have definitely sniped those seats. I'm sure Colerium would be very happy if he's still the leader. I'm actually not too sure. And I've just been confirmed through our outlooking system. Sorry, what was that?
If he's still the leader, you said.
If he's still the leader, I don't know. I don't keep up with these things. But I've just been informed through our outlooking system. There is no recounts. We've had a clean election for the first. This proves that the outlooking system is the most effective way.
No. What this proves is that Victoria O'Neill and Cillian O'Clark, what is that? Cillian Clark are actually the best.
Would you like to tell them who released the seats?
Yeah, Caoimhín O'Neill. Actually, no, sorry, Conor Novak. Actually, I'd like to send a big thank you to Conor Novak.
What about
I think Conor.
The seat counts. Well, it depends who you're asking, because in Galway it was the postman. So I'm not.
Authority of Victoria O'Neill, by the way.
Yeah, but I actually have to ask though, Noah. In terms of public interaction, I'm sorry to pivot away from Jeremy. By the way, he's a bit senile and demented. So Noah, in terms of public interaction, what's been the feedback on this? Have we seen tweets?
Well, I mean, Carl at Carl Roblox 9 says, as somebody who's part of the Social Democrat proposed government, we are happy that we've gotten 5 seats. It's a massive increase for the last election, and hopefully in this final count we can get something. That's pretty much the only tweet that's actually worth reading. So,
what about my tweet?
Actually, one more. James, you're going to hate me for reading this, but Cillian, James accused you of accused the entire RTE of spiking his drink.
No,
unconfirmed rumors.
People like to, when they get bored, they like to stir up rumors here that are just not true. James Drank himself
will be in contact, by the way.
Thank
James,
you. They will be. Yeah, you're done for, by the way. Yeah,
former.
Do you want to know the next RTE headline? It's going to be former Justice Minister indicted. But yeah, very much live from RTE headquarters here. Those are the final results. But also, look, just for the final take on public interaction there, Noah. Do you want to finish James Dixon's tweet there before we wrap up?
So, well, he basically said, as you can see, RTE has spiked my drink, trying to get me drunk. Are we now, Killian?
That's a very interesting tweet and very insightful. Well, look, I want to move to the final comment from political pundit Hugh Ahern. Hugh, what's your take on the results?
Yeah, so my take on it all is that it's been in. Sorry, there's noises coming around there, so I just had to mute the laptop. But my take has been that it's been an incredibly interesting election, something that I didn't predict. I congratulate James and the leader of Fianna Fáil. I commiserate with the leader of Sinn Féin. I apologise deeply to the viewers for my estimations on Labour. Labour performed outstanding for shocking. Like, I didn't think there was even an ad that went out about from Labour. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like I'll be curious to see where I'll end up. I will be wondering what will be my next career move. Maybe sacked from the civil service, resignation to pursue greater offices of state.
This isn't the job centre. This isn't the job.
Maybe he could be generous with his offer, but like I would like to congratulate Jamie and congratulate the leader of Fianna Fáil. I am confident that it will be an interesting negotiation, which I'm not unfortunately privy to because I'm only in terms of the ranking. It's William and Connor who are in the talks. I prefer to be in the talks, but it's interesting as well. There's been very little press coverage of the election from the outside media, and over the next few weeks, in my capacity in whatever, I will ensure to serve the public and my ministers or whoever I will be serving. I will serve any party as has always been done. I ensure to serve any party with the great utmost of professionalism. I am certain Killian, James, and you all know that, considering that I've served you all. I don't think there's been any complaints.
Myself particularly, I did enjoy our time here. Well, look, Hugh, your time in the civil service will be dearly missed, and hopefully, potentially.
I'm not resigning yet.
It's not a resignation, but should it happen, your time in civil service will be greatly missed, and you were an endearing servant. But that's, again, you're still there at the moment. Perhaps should a venture into partisan politics occur, I would give you my endorsement. But anyway, look,
maybe the bid for the Oris.
Perhaps that's also on the table. That's something I would sign for. That's something I would sign for. But anyway,
maybe if Jamie, I'm still waiting on a response from Jamie. But
that'll come in time.
Jamie.
That'll come in time, I'm sure.
Okay,
well, look, I want to thank some of the people who've been with us this evening for election night. I would have thanked Jeremy, but it seems he's disappeared. Is he alive?
Oh,
we don't know anymore.
He's kind of he's
taken up a new position.
After his absolutely deep insult, he's trying to get away from Ireland.
That's true. That's many reporters are coming in saying this is the first time he's moved since the 80s. So this is insane. But anyway, Jeremy, I want to thank Lucy, a developer. I think she's still head of the Irish Aviation Authority.
Yep, she is. She's in my department.
How is that happening? I'm not completely sure, but not the point. The point being here tonight, she contributed greatly by actually announcing that Cupcake was elected teacher. But anyway, our producer, Dan F., who's a great guy who I screamed slurs at this evening, he knows I meant them, and I know I meant them too. I want to move to Corbin Clark, who joined us this evening as Labour's correspondent. James Aitchison was here as well for Fine Gael. We did have pundits, and Hugh Ahern is with us this evening, and Epic Noah is my co-host who went through the Twitter feeds. Thank you, Noah, so much. It seems you've lost a bit of weight. It seems you lost a bit of weight by standing here for an hour straight without eating. Of course,
I'm in forever.
At least I'm not fat, unlike Victoria O'Neill.
But of course, second last year we have Jeremy O'Mara, my man on the map, a distinguished title, might I add. I had to select very carefully who would take that portfolio over. But I think the real winner of tonight's election is Victoria O'Neill, because at the end of the day, she decides who forms government, she decides who wins government, and I think she made some very good decisions by choosing who gets what seat this evening. But this has been RTE's live election.
You know,
yeah.
Just to close there, I will be inviting Victoria up to the department tomorrow morning.
You should. She's a great human being. She's a great human being.
You know, maybe after this, I'll request that she comes down to Dublin Castle for an official photo shoot. You know, maybe if she's around, I'll meet with the RTE team, thank them on behalf of the government, and
so true.
You know, I'm really looking forward to Wednesday.
I'm being pressured for time here, but look, I want to thank our viewers for remaining here with us during the RTE election night, and it's been a pleasure to have you.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed our new branding, and I hope you enjoyed the broadcast. So this has been RTE election night. Good luck.
God bless.
Thank you so much.
We've got
song.
Is that it?
Are we off? Perfect. Well done, folks. Well done.
You're not off.
Are we not?
Shh.
Well.
Oh yeah, no, sorry, it took too long.
Got that.
Sorry,
I issued a department order.
Too long there, so tis Killian Clark.
Yeah. Oh, crikey. Someone's becoming a senator. So.
We're not off yet.
Yeah. No. Well, I'm just going to